Welcome to Guns, Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I am Gary Gunderson. President Biden shambled out to speak to Moms Demand Action about gun control and proved himself to be a powerful orator at the top of his game.
Folks, to every town and all the leaders and advocates here today, I want to thank you. Instead of trying to stop our ban on ghost gun kits that contain these commit crimes, they're working like hell to stop it. They want to abolish the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, which is responsible for fighting gun crimes. You can't be pro-law enforcement and say you are pro-law enforcement and be pro-abolishing the AFT.
It was mostly the same old spiel, including threatening to airstrike American civilians, which is probably the best argument for the Second Amendment that I can think of.
And by the way, if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, well, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need a rifle. I used to be when I was no longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Before that, I taught a constitutional law class, and so I taught the Second Amendment. There's never been a time that says you can own anything you want. You couldn't own a cannon during the Civil War. No, I'm serious. Think about it.
He has mentioned this a lot, not being able to own cannons, throwing a slight curveball this time saying during the Civil War, but you could have owned one during the Civil War or at the founding of the country.
How many times have you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty. Wash of dough. Give me a break. No, I mean it, seriously. More children are killed in America by guns than cancer and car accidents combined.
This is a lie I've covered a lot, but most nobly here he botches this lie even worse, saying it's more than cancer and car accidents combined, which, even if you use their made-up definition of children, that's incorrect.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
My predecessor told the NRA convention recently, he's proud that, quote, I did nothing on guns when I was president. And by doing nothing, he made the situation considerably worse. Last year, we saw the largest decrease of murder in history of it.
I am going to credit the Bruin decision for the drop in crime because nothing deters crime like a well-armed populace.
Who in God's name needs a magazine which can hold 200 shells? Nobody, that's right. I remember when I was campaigning, when I was a senator, going through the wetlands of Delaware to meet all the people who were most upset with me, the fishermen and the hunters. And I came across a guy who was fishing, and he said, you want to take my gun? And I looked at him, I said, yeah, I don't want to take your gun. You're allowed to have a gun, but I want to take away your ability to use an assault weapon. And this is how the conversation went. He said, what do you mean I need that to hunt? I said, guess what? If you need 12 to 100 bullets in a gun, in a magazine, you're the lousiest shot I've ever heard of. I'm serious.
The Second Amendment is not about hunting. Also, given it is a right, why should I limit how many rounds I can carry? Maybe I want to do it because it looks cool. That is well within my rights.
They're weapons of war.
We know.
Look, unfortunately, it's the only partisan thing I'm going to say. The congressional Republicans oppose all of these, every one of these. Instead of trying to stop our ban on ghost gun kits that contain these commit crimes, they're working like hell to stop it.
Okay, this whole speech has been a partisan talking point pushing your political agenda. Second, the ATF is a garbage organization that should be disbanded, and it is a good thing that people are trying to stop the bureaucratic overreach.
I disagree with some of my own party and on the other side about a lot of things, but at least there's some rational argument they have as part of their argument. What in God's name is the rationale for taking away the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms?
I can think of at least a few reasons.
We all want our kids to have the freedom to learn how to read and write in schools instead of learn how to duck and cover, for God's sake.
Why not both? Promoting safety is good.
By the way, it's time we establish universal background checks. And by the way, and require the safe storage of firearms. We should hold families responsible if they don't provide those locks on those guns.
There was a recent court case where the parents were found guilty for purchasing a firearm for their teenage son. This is a dangerous and slippery slope. The terms of safe storage laws vary widely from place to place. A recent proposed law included a provision that even if you don't have any kids in the home, you would be held responsible if a minor broke into your house and stole your gun if it was not locked up. Plus, for example, if you trust your child and that child knows where a firearm is in the house and can access it, that child can use it to defend himself, as you presumably trust him enough to be at home alone. There are countless stories of this happening. There are legitimate reasons to not have a firearm locked up if you trust your child or the child has access to the firearm.
It builds upon the dozen of executive actions my administration has taken to reduce gun violence, more than any of my predecessors, and I suspect more than all of them combined. Everything from cracking down on ghost guns, gun trafficking, and so much more.
But of course, all of this executive power is not enough.
Folks, we're not stopping there. It's time once again to do what I did when I was a senator. Ban assault weapons.
He is super serious.
And by the way, this is most important. The only industry in America that has immunity are gun dealers. We got to end it. End it now. No, I mean it. Imagine if we gave tobacco an exception that could not be prosecuted.
Of course, the gun industry is held liable if something malfunctions and blows up in your face. They are not liable if someone uses it to commit a crime, which is the same as any other product. Anyways, that pretty much sums up Skeletor's speech in front of a bunch of gun control fanatics who kept giving him applause breaks like the old Politburo. But what is your favorite part, when he threatened to kill Americans or when he lied about cannonry? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, please consider joining my Patreon, liking the video, and subscribing to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching.